But it seemed so real. I mean, it was like it was really happening. He was really standing over me with his knife, and it was scary.
Oh, God.
And
Welcome to the Rebellion, the show bringing the fight to self-entitlement.
this is episode 3, The Self-Made Nightmare.
Oh, God, it's so scary sometimes.
You know it is. It's like that moment where you know you shouldn't put in the scary movie right before bed when you're eating popcorn and drinking Diet Coke because you know you're going to have fucked up
But
dreams.
you just want to scream.
Right. And then you
You want that adrenaline. You want that, ooh, God, the pucker.
Right. And you upset all night,
Crying.
but you got nobody to blame.
But
Yourself.
yourself.
You made it yourself.
That self-made nightmare. Man. Episode 3. It's here before we even knew it.
Right. It's hard to believe we made it this far.
In a way it is. But let's just get right into it. We got a lot to get to, a lot to say. So, in episode 1, we told you the game plan. In episode 2, we showed you how the government was not going to save you. But in episode 3, the awful truth has to be made clear that this self-made nightmare is actually a reality. So Josh, I know we've been doing a lot of research and current events and stuff like that. Can you inform me, just give me a little refresher on, we ran across a story about a dairy farmer right here in Florida, right?
Right. Yeah. So there is a dairy farmer here in Florida. The headline is, Judge orders all natural milk to be labeled imitation. Thousands of gallons are dumped.
Oh, so all natural is now imitation, according to the government, right?
Right. So the federal judge has ruled that all natural skim milk cannot be labeled skim milk under Florida law. This is U.S. District Judge Robert L. Hinkle, sided with the state of Florida's contention that milk can only be called skim milk if it's injected with artificial vitamin A. That is, making it nutritionally similar to whole milk sold on the store shelves. So at the heart of this ruling, you've got this small creamery, O'Cheesy Creamery, and good old Mary Lou's running it. And
Mary Lou, I love her. She's a sweet lady.
Sweet, sweetheart. And she can no longer, under this ruling, sell her skim milk as skim milk because it's all natural. It's just pasteurized skim milk. And to quote her, she said, "I just want to be able to tell the truth. Our skim milk was pure."
Oh, so now the government doesn't want the truth to be told.
Right, and so she says, "I refuse to lie to my customers, so I've stopped selling skim milk until I'm allowed to tell the truth again." And
weird. I would have thought that the government wanted the truth. Oh, wait.
Oh, no. Here's the kicker. So, Judge Hinkle, in his opinion, acknowledged that the creamer's skim milk meets the dictionary definition of skim milk. But he said he was concerned that a ruling in the favor of the creamery would enable a challenge to the Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act and similar state laws upon which the food labeling system is based. So we have a federal judge who
self-admittedly,
whose job it is to protect the people and the laws that protect the people, who says he
agrees with the lady.
Agrees that she's right, but he won't entertain the idea because
God forbid somebody challenge the government.
Right, because almighty federal government might have to do some explaining.
Yeah, the Millennial Messiah could possibly be wrong.
Have to tell the truth.
And expanding the government.
Like, I know this is the first example, but I hope you guys can fathom how ludicrous we're making people lie about milk.
Not just people, judges. This isn't just like, oh, we got this crack addict off the corner and he just is going to lie because he wants some more drugs. No, we're talking about a highly esteemed human being who self-admittedly, in a journalistic expose, says, oh, yeah, I agree with her by the definition of the word. She's completely correct, but God forbid, if I decide in this lady's favor, if I help her continue her entrepreneurial dreams, my God, everybody could challenge the government. What kind of precedent will I be saying? What kind of standard will I be setting that people could somehow say that the FDA is wrong? This is so broken, my friends. Listen, the day that throwing let me throw this number out to you. Okay? She is throwing away 400 gallons. Not 4 gallons, not 40 gallons, 400 gallons of skim milk away a day, throwing it into the dirt, which I'm sure someone somewhere would love to have, whether it's Africa or downtown Detroit, because the government has said that the creamery's skim milk meets the dictionary definition, but because this judge was certified or was concerned that ruling in her favor would allow people to question the government. I'm pretty sure, I'm almost 100% positive. I'm gonna walk out on a limb here, but I'm almost 100% positive I just heard our founding fathers literally throw up and roll over in their graves. Because the day a judge decides that instead of ruling in favor of the truth, we're going to rule in favor of, God forbid, somebody be able to challenge the government, is the day that George Washington, Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Jefferson, James Adams, Samuel Adams, James Madison, and the rest of the founding fathers literally roll over in their grave and have a fit as to where we are as a country. But don't worry. After 8 years of Obama and a possible 4 more with Bernie, there will be more than enough stories to come. Josh, give me the next one. I'm stretching here. I'm gonna reach, but I think I remember you telling me some kind of story about a mom
Right.
getting arrested.
Yeah. So
because she trusted her kids.
Right. So this one eats me to the core. This is, I mean, even more than making a dairy creamery owner lie about what she's selling.
Right, and we can't set up any kind of system to allow her to sell that product.
Right. When the government starts dictating how we can raise our families is the moment that, I mean, my inner redneck comes out. Rebel flags start flying. To hell with them. So,
but that's what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. And not just in California, not just in New York. This is
South Carolina. This is South.
Right. This is Spartanburg. So straight out of Spartanburg, South Carolina. Mom arrested for letting a 9-year-old walk to McDonald's just around the corner from their home. Okay, this is, and I'm probably going to butcher your name, so if you're listening to us, I'm really sorry.
But we love you.
We love you. So Tisha Hillstock of Spartanburg, South Carolina, let her 9-year-old nephew and 3-year-old son walk to a McDonald's less than a quarter of a mile away from their home. An officer spotted the children at the restaurant.
Wait. Say less than a quarter of a mile?
Less than a, like, y'all go walk a quarter of a mile. I guarantee you you're going to go, oh shit, that's not that far.
Well, I don't know if you knew this. The street that we grew up on, it was a quarter mile long.
Really?
Do you think if I stood at one end of that street and you stood at the other end of that street that I could see you?
Oh, yeah, probably. Do I think that our parents should have been arrested if one of us was at the other end of the street?
Was that neglect? I don't know. Anyway, sorry to interrupt. Sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to put that, like, the quarter of a mile in some people's mind. Oh, that's a drag race. But in all reality,
it's a street.
It's literally a neighborhood street. Like, I can stand at one end, you can stand at the other. I can see you. You could, honestly, if I yelled, you could probably hear me pretty easily. So we're not talking about a mile. We're not talking about a long distance to where you would need some form of remote communication to contact the children. We're literally talking about, I can see you, you can hear me. But continue with the story.
So 9-year-old nephew, 3-year-old son walk to McDonald's. An officer of the law spots the kids, decides he's going to walk them home, and arrest Miss Hillstock for child neglect. Like, oh, Jesus help me. Are you kidding me?
Like, no. There's no kidding here, sir. We are fully serious. You need to go to prison for child neglect because you let your 9-year-old walk down the street.
Like, it literally blows my mind. Like, I can feel my brain particles hitting the inside of my skull right now because zero understanding for this.
Right, that would actually be your synapses breaking apart because of the idiocracy of this statement.
What actual law is Miss Hillstock breaking by letting her 9-year-old nephew, which I have a 10-year-old niece who I would fully trust to be more than a quarter of a mile away from me, with my daughter,
where you could yell, and she could hear you.
And I mean, honestly, who knows the situation? Maybe Miss Hillstock has a broken leg, couldn't walk to go get their family dinner. Maybe there's not a father involved. And the 9-year-old nephew had to be man of the house and go get dinner for the family. You're going to arrest her for that? And embellishment. I'm sorry. Maybe taking leaps and bounds. But my point is, at what point did we give the federal government authority to dictate our family lives?
Right. It goes beyond the federal government, unfortunately, at this point. That we're talking local government. This is a local police officer. This isn't the FBI. This is Spartanburg PD to protect and serve and arrest moms who let their kids walk down the street. Like, listen, I have 4 daughters ranging anywhere from the ages of 10 to 4. And me personally, living in the city that I live in, I wouldn't have let my 10-year-old walk to McDonald's by herself. But that is my decision as her parent. Because that is my child. The reality is, I don't know how far the kids exactly walked or what kind of neighborhood this situation happened in. My job is to point you to the bigger question. The bigger question is, when I was their age, I rode my bike miles from my home. No cell phone, no supervision, and I survived. And I think there's a point to why so many young people are crippled because we've sheltered them. We've sheltered them rather than preparing them to deal with situations. To deal with situations that we hope to prevent, but situations that still occur, whether we can prevent them or not, because some things are out of our control. Listen, it's the police's job to serve and protect. So good job, Mr. Police Officer, for making sure nothing happened to these two kids. But letting your kids, who you know better and care more about than anyone else, walk down the street isn't neglect, my friends. That, my friends, is called trust. The fact that she trusted her nephew to walk with her 3-year-old down the street to the local McDonald's isn't neglect. My God, that's instilling trust in a 9-year-old. That's saying, listen, I love the both of you more than my own life. But I think that you two are capable, or you are capable of guiding this 3-year-old, who obviously no 3-year-old's capable. I mean, my 4-year-old's, she's awesome. She's incredibly smart, but I wouldn't trust her walking a quarter mile. But my 10-year-old, intelligence-wise, if I were to talk about capability, she is fully capable of walking my 4-year-old to the pool in our neighborhood that's a mile away. My own insecurities wouldn't allow me to do that. But do I think that if that were to happen, a police officer needs to come and arrest me? No. Not at all. This brings me back to the point of the police are here to protect and serve. So instead of just protecting and serving and making sure nothing happened to these kids, we now decide that it's better to throw a mother in jail for neglect and separate her from her children and put her family under financial and emotional strain for what? Because you or I disagree with how she raises her children? Well, let's just answer this question. What if something had happened to those kids? Some may say. So now we have established the policy of arresting people on what may happen. That doesn't sound like a good idea. Because what may happen, I probably need to be arrested then, because I may hit a pedestrian on the street on my way home tonight. But it's all going back to a bigger point of, if something had happened to these kids, why do we attack the mother? Why do we attack the parents? How is the fact that they trusted their kids to walk less than a quarter of a mile away from their home their fault? It's not. The only reason that we pursue them, the only reason that we want justice against these parents, against this mother, isn't because it's true justice. It's because it's convenient. It is so much easier to hear this story and blame the mother than blame the person who committed the crime. Then to find the criminal and then build a case against said criminal and then seek justice against said criminal through the justice system than it is to say, well, really, the mother should have never let them walk a quarter mile away from their house. Because the God's honest truth is it has nothing to do. Why is it the mother's fault that the world's a bad place? It's not. The real criminal, the real person who we should be going after is the person who hurt the kids, the person who harmed someone else. But that's too hard. Just like winning at skills is too hard. And guys, like, I'm not trying to make fun. I wouldn't go to all the effort and money to produce a podcast just for fun. This is a serious situation. We are putting people in jail. We are making other human beings' lives harder because it's more convenient to attack them than it is to find the real criminal. It's more convenient to say somebody else is at fault for my inability to find success. We have to start putting the responsibility on the people who are at fault, whether it's ourselves, whether it's a criminal, whether it's corporation, whether it's the government. We have to stop taking things at face value and start really evaluating the situation and placing responsibility on the parties who are truly responsible. That's not a political or economical or morality driven statement. That's the truth. Anyway, they just keep on coming. So Josh, what's the next self-made nightmare that we get to look forward to in the coming years?
So next up, we have a proposed bill in New Jersey that basically says if a person on the road, whether walking or driving,
Walking,
keyword there, is, and paraphrasing the whole thing, guys.
No, read it word for word, and then we'll paraphrase.
Okay. If a person on the road, whether walking or driving, presents a risk to others on the road, there should be a law in place to dissuade or penalize risky behavior. Okay,
So,
this is from a state assemblywoman, Pamela Lampett.
Well, Miss Lampett is an idiot.
So basically what she's getting at, guys, is a text message. If you are walking and texting, the bill that's proposed could lead to 15 days, that's 15 days in jail, or a $50 fine. So whatever the courts feel is appropriate for the situation.
Gotcha. So what you're telling me is Miss, and excuse me, but I'm gonna have to put her in the same class as Bernie. Miss Lampett says that by walking down the sidewalk, texting on your phone deserves a harsher penalty than driving drunk.
So to quote Miss Lampett,
oh, this lady.
Distracted pedestrians, like distracted drivers, present a potential danger to themselves and drivers on the road. As people's behaviors change, so must our policy. So, Miss Lampett, she's only looking out for us.
Oh, she's a saint.
She's only wanting to impose punishment on us for our own good.
Right. So, oh, sweet Lord in heaven.
We don't have bigger things to tackle like world hunger, like
gang violence, clean water,
right,
and like 80% of the world.
Texting and walking.
Texting and walking. That is what somebody in our great country deserves to go to jail for 15 days and be under financial stress for, because somehow walking down the God blessed sidewalk equates to endangering themselves and others. Listen, when we throw somebody in jail for driving drunk, they stay in jail for 2 days. And this kook house, this lunatic, is trying to pass a law that says, oh, you can go to jail for either 15 days or you can pass a $50 fine because you decided to exercise personal freedom and communicate on your own terms. But guys, this all goes back to the same thing we've been saying, and the same thing we will continue to say, because it needs to be said. The bigger you make government, the worse your life is going to be. It is not a theory. It is not a fairy tale. This is the truth. The stories keep coming. I don't have to search for more than 5 minutes to give you social proof. When you make government big, you have some bureaucratic idiot say that, oh, if you walk and text, you're a danger to yourself. Because none of us have bigger problems than walking and texting. It has nothing to do with you being a danger to yourself. Don't buy that lie. The only thing it has to do with is it provides another source of revenue for the government to take your money to tell you how you can't function on your own without them. Guys, this is not, it's not a mysterious code. If you just take the time to think about what is going on, your personal freedoms are being restricted more and more in the name of fairness and equality. So now you're going to be fined in the state for walking down the street and texting. If that, honestly, please, I encourage anyone who hears this message, if you disagree with me, explain to me how walking and texting deserves a fine or 15 days in jail. In jail. And let me preface this. If you haven't been to jail, go spend 2 days in jail. Don't commit a crime. Just go tell the warden that you desire to understand the experience better and you want to spend 48 hours in jail. Go do that. And then you tell me if walking and texting is worth 15 days in jail. It's not. It's not worth 15 days in jail. But you know what? If that is where you want to hang your hat, then
by all means.
By all means. I mean, it's a big old hat stand. You hang your hat on it. I think you are 100% CRAZY crazy.
Oh, but there's more, Caleb.
Is there more?
Yeah, there's one more article.
One more.
So,
Josh, honestly, I don't know that I can take another one.
Oh, but I gotta give it. Give it, Caleb. So
bring it to me.
So far, we've covered how the federal government is imposing their power on businesses. How the local government is imposing.
That was also the local government that imposed their power on businesses, throwing out 400 gallons of skim milk a day.
Right. Okay. So far we've seen how the government imposes their power on businesses.
And it's not even a big business. We're not talking about corporations. We're talking about a lady who is a member of an Indian tribe here in Florida trying to make her way through life. And because it's more important to the judge that the government doesn't get questioned, that we make her life harder, that we take this lady who is working as an entrepreneur and throw her under the bus. That's what's important? That really? That's the morality of this? Oh, you by Webster's definition meet the definition of skim milk, but because it could possibly cause somebody to question the FDA, the hell with you. Like, I wanted to use much stronger language than that, but you get the idea. That's where we stand now. As a people, that's okay. That's our government representing us. But no, we need to continue to make it bigger. We need to continue to fight that fight to expand someone's control over us. Like, does anybody else feel like we are living in a world of just perpetual trips? I mean, I hate to take it to that point, but I feel like the guy who wrote Alice in Wonderland would be like, oh, man, I need some of the stuff y'all are on. There's not enough Mad Hatters and bunny rabbits in the world for this. And we just keep on rolling. Just let's just keep feeding that train. Anyway, I'm sorry to interrupt you, my brother.
It's all right.
So we got a government that's kicking the crap out of a poor old lady trying to make some milk and cheese.
We've got a government imposing their power onto families.
Oh.
We've got a government imposing their power on your individual lives. And now we're going to take it a step to the side.
Hold on. We can't. I'm sorry. I know we're running slightly long, but we cannot just skip over that we just had a story about a government imposing their will on your family. They're not just they're throwing moms in jail. Like, let's break it down to the reality of the fact. We now have made it more important to throw a mother in jail and financially stress and emotionally stress children because we thought their kid walked too far away from their house and that something could have potentially happened to those kids. Oh, my bad. I didn't understand we now lived in a government where we punished people for what could potentially happen. I mean, just, am I the only? Sometimes I think I'm the only person, but I know I'm not. I know that there's those of you out there that will hear this and go, oh my God, finally somebody who understands I'm living in a world of insanity, that nobody has any personal freedom, that we punish mothers instead of punishing criminals. Whew. My friends, we have to wake up. We have to encourage each other. We have to make this movement start from the ground up, because the truth is the lies will not stop. The lies will only continue, and the only remedy to that is the truth. No matter how hard that pill is to swallow, it is never okay to throw a mother in jail for trusting her children when the only reason we are throwing her in jail is for a crime that hasn't been committed, and for a crime that, even if it was committed, wasn't committed by her. What was the next thing, Josh?
So after a government imposing their authority onto families, it was a government that imposes its rule into your personal life, your personal liberties.
Ah, right. Because the government has now dictated that we are no longer smart enough to walk and do something. Listen, guys, if you think it's going to stop texting, I can promise you the next step is chewing bubblegum. I know that sounds silly, but if we allow the government to fine us and throw us in jail for 15, and my brain is like ripping at its seams. The fact that this is even going to a vote, and anywhere in America, anyone who says that walking down the sidewalk and doing anything other than physically assaulting someone or robbing someone or doing some other actual crime deserves 15 days in jail because they weren't paying attention to where they were walking and they could cause possible danger to themselves or someone else walking, deserves to be smacked. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? We live in the land of the free and the brave, and last time I checked, we weren't a bunch of pansies. If you want to be a pansy, that's fine. You go be a pansy by yourself. But the fact of the matter is, there is too many men and women, there's too many of my brothers and sisters who have laid down their lives, had their arms and legs blown off, and had to deal with the traumas of war for you to worry about if somebody was texting and walking. Let me tell you what, you throw me in jail for 15 days for texting and walking. I'm going to get a much, much longer jail sentence for what I'm going to do when I get out. God almighty. So, that brings us to our final point.
So now we're shifting from, because this is the self-made nightmare, we've given the power to the beast. We're shifting from the government imposing to individuals imposing onto other individuals. So this story is about...
Oh, so now no longer is it just the government putting their heel on our heads, but now it's the government supporting others putting our heel on our heads, is what you're telling me.
Right. No, this is about the people standing behind the government going, put your heel on their head. So this is about a family in Long Island. They're homesteaders.
Oh, those poor folks.
So you
decided to homestead in Long Island.
This is Bob and Jean Benner. And they own and operate a 265-year-old farm in New York's Long Island. So I'll make this one quick. I won't read you the whole article.
Listen, let me stop you there before you even start. Bob and Jean, I love you. If you hear this, you're patriots, and don't stop doing what's right. I'm sorry. Continue.
So basically, Bob and Jean have this 265-year-old farm. They have...
What? How many years?
265 years.
So 265 years they've been doing something one way, providing a product and service to the community around them, and somebody has a problem with something?
Right. So they have livestock. They have Minnie the cow.
Minnie.
And Minnie's purpose from the day she was born as a calf was she was going to be slaughtered for meat to feed their family.
Let me stop you right there. So, Minnie is a cow, right?
A cow, yeah.
She's a cow.
Mm-hmm.
And the Benners are farmers, right?
Right.
So, Minnie's cow, the Benners are farmers, and at no point did they ever say that Minnie was meant for anything other than farming, correct?
Right.
So, before you go any further, because this story just continues to perpetually blow my mind. If I was a farmer and I had a farm and I had a cow, maybe perhaps named Minnie, what do I think that cow would be meant for? I don't think it would be meant for companionship. I mean, guys, this goes back to the core of what our country is all about. It's not about killing cows. It's about doing the things that you need to do to provide a life and to provide food for your community, for your family, for those around you. Minnie is not a human being. I'm sorry for all you potential vegans out there or vegetarians out there who don't do it because of they think it's a healthy reason, but do it because the cow's a person. The cow is not a person. If the cow was a person, it would have thumbs. If the cow was a person, it would be able to convey conscious thought. The cow is a cow. It goes moo, it eats grass. It's meant to be turned into hamburger steaks and brisket. Bottom line. Whether you have the stomach for it or not does not determine the cow's purpose. These people fully understand their purpose as farmers. This cow fully understands its purpose as a cow. It was meant to eat hay, it was meant to gain 1,000 pounds, and it was meant to die. It's not pretty. It's not a fairy tale story. It's reality. And that's what we deal with here on this show is reality. This cow knows I'm going to end up being a hamburger one day. And by God, I hope I end up being a Kobe beef hamburger. I hope I get sold at $20 a pound. Because God forbid I end up becoming a McDouble.
So there's over 4,500 people who would disagree with you. So the whole reason we included this article, along with the other three that had to do with the government, is the people who are signing this petition, the people who are literally harassing the Benner family.
Oh, the farmers
Right.
whose property is the cow?
Right, the private property,
Oh.
because that's what livestock is. It's stock that's alive. The people who are harassing this poor family don't even live in their community.
Oh, really?
So these are
You
people.
don't say.
These are people with different worldviews in different places, different states. They're probably
Have nothing to do with the cow
Literally nothing.
or the family.
To do with the Long Island homesteading community. But they think it's wrong, so damn it, Minnie needs to live.
Minnie needs a life.
So, to bring all that full circle,
Full circle.
we have to realize that when we try and impose our beliefs on other people, because they might have a differing opinion, and we try to go through the route of telling the government they need to take care of it because we don't like the way it is, we have to sign over our liberties and give that authority to who the government may agree with us today, but
May not tomorrow.
may not tomorrow. They might not like that you walk in text.
Yeah. You might have to spend 15 days in jail for, I don't know, going to the bathroom in a public place.
If you sacrifice one liberty, you sacrifice them all eventually.
Correct.
And that's the point that we wanted to make with these articles.
Whether it's a mother getting thrown in jail for trusting her children or a farmer getting persecuted, harassed, protested against for doing his job, whether the people like it or not. Listen, last time I checked, there's a lot of people buying ground beef. There's a lot of people who like ribeye steaks. There's a lot of people who like sirloins, New York strips, porterhouses, T-bones, filet mignons. The fact that a minority disagrees with you does not make you wrong. The fact that a minority can potentially gain the amplification of a platform because they know someone does not make you wrong. If you enjoy personal liberties and you take gratitude in the things that you enjoy because of the people who have sacrificed to allow you to enjoy those liberties, you're doing it right. I don't care how many people, if it's 4,500, sign a petition to tell you you are wrong. Continue to fight the good fight. Continue to understand that your liberty is worth more than their opinion. Because this self-made nightmare, unfortunately, I don't believe is going to end anytime soon. But you know what else isn't going to end? The rebellion. We will not quit fighting. We will not give up. We will not allow a group of individuals' opinions to dictate what the truth is. We will continue to fight for you. We will continue to fight for the truth, and we will continue to fight for the liberties that we all hold dear inside. Anyway, Josh,
Caleb?
as always, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for giving us your attention. Fight against these self-made nightmares.
Guys, leave us an iTunes review. Let us know what you think of the show, what you want to see in future episodes.
If you have any comments, concerns, questions, feel free to send them to caleb@calebradford.com.
And as always, we are the Rebellion.
You guys keep fighting the good fight, and we will continue to lead the rebellion. See you next week. Love you. Good night.